So let's move to our winners and losers for this week. Dan, I'm going to go to you first. Who's your winner?
My winner's the ACLU, which raised, what was it, like $10 million for their efforts as a result of Trump's immigration ban in just a matter of a couple of days. So anytime there's a policy that's pushed by a president, someone benefits, and in this case, the ACLU benefited from his ban.
And who's your loser?
My loser's Harley, even though it's not clear why exactly the president didn't come to Milwaukee. It seems that he's indicating that Harley didn't want to come here because of protests. Harley seems to be saying, no, that wasn't an issue. Whatever it is, Harley doesn't end up being the first place that the president gets to visit after his inaugural.
And Mary, let me turn to you. Who's your loser of the week?
I'm going to say Reince Priebus. You know, the more and more we hear out of policy coming from the White House, it really seems like Bannon is running the show there. It sounds like a lot of the executive actions that Trump has taken were authored by Bannon or heavily influenced by him. And it's kind of like, where is our Wisconsin guy, Reince Priebus, in all of this?
So how does Priebus fit into all that?
He's on Twitter with Scott Walker. We got to see that.
We did see a picture of them, and he was, you know, he did an interview on Sunday saying moving forward this won't affect green card holders. However, it sounds like Bannon, again, was the one who overruled DHS and said it would include green card holders to begin with. So I think some of that initial confusion and outrage, you know, to have Reince come in afterwards and say, okay, moving forward, we won't do this, it doesn't make up for
what hangs
what happened
some
before.
Members of Congress out to dry, like Jim Sensenbrenner, who
Right.
is out there defending
it.
the green card portion of it, and Reince Priebus is on TV saying, no, it doesn't apply to that.
Well, it's a really interesting dynamic there right now. You've got Reince Priebus, who is a sort of traditional, very conservative Republican.
What they call a movement conservative.
A movement conservative. And
She said revolution.
And Steve Bannon, who is a completely different kind of populist politician that we haven't seen
even though he's
forever.
Who really doesn't have policy experience.
Right.
Yeah, even though he's a Goldman Sachs executive and former executive producer in Hollywood, he's the populist of the two. So yeah. I mean, it looks like Reince had a great deal of influence in terms of the appointments, but it looks like the policy stuff is gone the way of Bannon.
Of Bannon. Okay, so Mary, who's your winner of the week?
Well, I'm going to go with Frederick Douglass.
Frederick Douglass.
He's back from the grave.
He's back from the grave.
I guess that makes you a winner when you're resurrected.
Right.
So explain for our listeners who haven't heard about this.
Right. So it's Black History Month. President Trump had an event where he was talking about Frederick Douglass as someone who's, you know, essentially been doing a great job and is getting kind of more and more people are realizing all of his accomplishments. That's not a direct quote, but essentially what he said. And the thing is, Frederick Douglass, you know, former slave, escaped from slavery, legendary orator, author.
We might point out died in 1895.
Correct. Right. That's the part that it didn't seem like Trump exactly knew, or he seemed to be talking about him in the present tense, which raised questions of, does the president know who Frederick Douglass is or was? Does he know that Frederick Douglass is dead? It sounds like a lot of people, it's kind of resurrected a lot of interest in Frederick Douglass. Maybe his books will start selling out the way George Orwell's 1984 did. I mean, he's a brilliant man and brilliant speaker and writer.
Helping with book sales all over the place.
Right, especially among those who've deceased.
Anybody who helps Frederick Douglass to become more popular and well-known, I think, has done the country a service.